Good morning from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. This today is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow, not Christmas. I'm in a time warp. New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I'm definitely keeping the cats in tomorrow because people all over the mountain will be making lots of noise and upsetting the cats. Oh, wow. Memory like a steel sieve, I reached for my coffee and. Oh, hi, Frontier. Someone I've never seen in chat before. Welcome. Hi, Howard. My memory is shot. This is Friday morning coffee, and my coffee's in the kitchen, waiting for the tea kettle to whistle. So I think I better go get it. I'll be right back. Here. That's better. I got my coffee. Instant, of course, because it's morning and I haven't set up the coffee pot yet. Also, I want you to know that I always top off my coffee with a little cold water so I don't burn myself. Oh, oh. Well, now I know another name for you. That's cool. Hi, Philip. Hi, Philip. Welcome in. Okay. I know there's all kinds of stuff going on in the world, but I feel as if I have nothing to talk about. I don't know why. Well, maybe because the cats are both comfortably sleeping. They quit bugging me for treats. Um, I had this horrible headache yesterday, so I slept most of the day because ah, itchy eyes. It was a sinus headache, so I took cold medicine, which always knocks me out, except for one over the counter cold medicine. Sorry, eyes are itching something awful. Um, there's one brand, and I forget the name of it, but it wires me, and that is super uncomfortable. I don't like being wired. The others make me really sleepy. Plus, when I fall asleep, I don't feel the pain of my sinus headache. There's one guy, decongestant that I take to drain my ouchy sinuses, and it hurts. Okay, what sounds like a diner? Philip? Anyway, the decongestant puts me to sleep even worse than the antihistamines, but they do work. They get rid of the All right, what's YouTube warning me about? Oh, guard my privacy and abide by community guidelines. Oh, um, Passport to Magonia, Jacques Vallée's book. Interesting. Let's see. Um, anyway, the cats are happy and not pestering me. Sweetie is either 14 or 15. I, I'm not sure which. I think, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure she will be 15 in July. I keep forgetting what year my son was born, so of course I forget which year the cat was born. Well, my dish is in the kitchen. You heard that sound, eh? It was just coffee mugs. One to make the instant coffee, and the other to hold the leftover hot water from the tea kettle. Because I've found that if I boil the same water over and over, it tastes nasty. And coffee can't hide that nasty, salty, bitter yuck that the water builds up, because when you boil it, a lot of the gunk stays in it while the water uh, is boiled off in the steam. Well, anyway, I use the hot water to pour down the sink to help reduce buildup of grease that might clog the drain. Yeah, she's an old cat, but I had Cubby live to be 20 that we know of. We weren't sure how old he was when we got him. Now that, and Tuffy was 19. But I've had other cats run into accidents like rattlesnakes and coyotes. I've managed to keep these two in, Tora and Sweetie Pie, ever since the weather turned suddenly cold. Our winter actually began in October as far as weather goes. Hope you have your coffee or whatever you drink in the morning. Ah, come on. There, here we go. Coffee in the chat room, a little emoji. Yeah, Sweetie's old, and it's amazing because until the past year, oh, probably 2 years now. Let's see. No, it'll be 2 years. Tora, when did? Yeah, Yeah, it's 2 years. I had to think. Ever since Tora broke her little hopper, she had a broken hip. $750 later, she's fine. It's been 2 years since then. And that's when Sweetie Pie started staying inside to pal around with Tora. So for 2 years, she's been an in and out cat, Sweetie Pie has. Before that, she wouldn't come in for anything because she was the last cat standing. The others either got old and died or ran into rattlesnakes and coyotes. At one time, I had 8 cats, and I never went and got a cat. I never asked for a cat. They just turned up, usually with a human, but sometimes they just turned up. As if I had unlimited funds to get them spayed and neutered. But Sweetie Pie was born here because I couldn't catch her mother to get her spayed. Good morning, Witta. Let's see. Gotta type in the little box and say, hi, Witta. It's what I think about. Witta. Oh, you had a Maine Coon mix. They have a bad heart because of something in their genes? Aw. Aw. Well, Cubby was what they used to call a sport. His mother, Bear, was the result of full sibling cats mating, and Bear got her name because her face was round and kind of flat. Not like those cats with the pug nose, but it didn't have the wrinkles or anything, but her face was very round, and Cubby was Bear's kitten, and he was an awesome cat. They say to keep tomcats away from kittens, but when Smokey dropped a litter of kittens before I had a chance to get her spayed, she was brought to me. Uh, well, Cubby would let those kittens jump all over him and play tag team wrestling, and he'd just kind of sit there or try to walk away, but he was kind to kittens. Sweetie, I don't know. She and Tora get into it, and it's mostly Tora being mean to Sweetie because Sweetie's old and arthritic. And Sweetie has a birth defect that might have been an injury when she was born or just might be a birth defect. Her hind legs don't bend well, so she walks funny. She kind of looks like a ballerina toe dancing. Do black bears rummage in my trash? Well, not so much at my house, although here and there they have done it. One bear in particular wrecked my chain link fence climbing over it. But my main problem up here is those trash bandits, raccoons. It usually works for me if I put the bag of used cat litter on top of the kitchen trash. They don't like used cat litter. I have to get close to read the chat. That's why I'm going back and forth. Also, because I'm, as usual, in Great Granny's rocking chair, the one that's mine now. You hear that, Sweetie Pie? Hi, Tora. You're cute. Ugh. Raccoons are cute, but not when they attack your cat. And they will do that. Fortunately, they tend to be nocturnal. And when my cats are outside, I bring them in before dark. I bring Tora in, and when Sweetie Pie thinks the coast is clear, she comes in too. Silly cats. Well, sometimes on cold days when they insisted on going out, Sweetie would be the first to come in, but she'd make sure I didn't see her come in. I'd just peek into the bedroom, which is her room now, and see her on her bed, on the pillows, of course. Go, oh, okay, I better go get Tora. Anyway, lately, Sweetie Pie has been fighting back a little better when Tora plays too rough. Where's that blue color coming from? That's weird. The light isn't blue. It's kind of yellow, but on the computer screen it looks blue up in the top here. Oh well. Computers, weirdos. Oh, Philip says his dad shot a coyote in the chicken coop. The coyote was inside the little chicken shed. Oh, the coyote won a Darwin Award. Yeah, well, raccoons will kill your chickens too. I don't get too much trouble with coyotes because of my chain link fence, but I really need a dog too. Although a pack of coyotes will go after a dog. There's easier prey for coyotes just running down the street. However, my cat Tora does go outside the fence. I don't think Sweetie does. I haven't seen her outside the fence. Oh, wow. So much going on, like Arizona. Apparently, the recount changed one of the local elections in Arizona. I can't remember people's names or what position it was, but it was a local thing, like Board of Supervisors or something like that. And of course, Carrie Lake is appealing. I think she has a pretty good case on appeal. Oh, Philip says a Great Pyrenees can take on multiple coyotes and defeat them. Well, I don't know if I can feed a Great Pyrenees. I know I can't walk one with my back. Darn thing is, I'd like a little dog, but raccoons and coyotes just love to take on little dogs. It isn't so bad here at this house because my neighbors don't deliberately feed the raccoons. The place I was a few years back, let's see, about 15 years or more, I had a neighbor who was feeding the raccoons. She'd put out multiple dishes of cat food on her porch and then complain because cats were coming around and she's allergic to cats. And besides that raccoon, that cat kibble is for raccoons. Maybe she should have put up a sign. She probably believed that cats could read it. There is no Arizona music. Oh, there's a song? Well, I think of that standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Got 7 women on my mind. And then there's the Arizona, turn off your Indian ways. Arizona, hey, won't you come my way? I don't want them to turn off their Indian ways. I think they're cool. Oh well. So there's a song called There Is No Arizona. Arizona and Texas each get about 10,000 migrants every day. And these cities in the Northeast complain because they get 50 once in a while. Oh, I forget which town, but one city is complaining, we have 10,000 migrants here. Well, try getting 10,000 every day. Oh, but the border is secure. And now the powers that be want to grant amnesty to something like 1 million migrants who have come here. You know, you let them stay. It isn't called immunity, it's called something else. Oh, hi, Beacon. You found the live show. I don't know what can be done. When I meet individual immigrants, whether they're legal or not, I have empathy for them. I usually like them if they are not criminals. But we need to slow things down at the very least. These poor people who come here looking for a better life end up sleeping on the street because there's no place for them. They end up abused by coyotes and cartel thugs. And a former friend of mine recently died from fentanyl. She was headed down the long, slow road anyway with other drugs. But, she might have been able to overcome that. She never got the chance. One pill, fentanyl, killed her. Oh, Philip, there's more than DACA. They want to grant permanent residency for adults who have recently come here. What really ticks me off, though, is Nancy Pelosi saying that we need them to pick our fruit and take low paying, unskilled jobs. Excuse me? She's saying out loud she wants slave labor. That's what it really is. When I was a teenager, there were jobs for high school kids all over the place. I couldn't get one because mom wouldn't let me work. I finally got, when I was 16, I got a job stocking vending machines. She didn't like that either. But there were jobs. And now, yeah, we have lower unemployment, but people have to work two jobs to make ends meet. Oh, excellent, Philip. Your good friend from Japan got residency and then citizenship. Do you know that the people who get citizenship usually know more about our history and our Constitution than we do? I remember not too long ago seeing all these posts in social media that were, I bet you don't know what the Third Amendment is. If I remember correctly, I know it now. You can't quarter troops. I think that's it. Let me check. Oh, come on, evil keyboard. Yeah, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. That's because the British troops were moving in and just saying, you guys get out, this is our house now. And the British troops would keep the house, everything in it, including food, and the servants, which they didn't pay the servants. Eighth Amendment. Oh dear, Philip, I don't. Let me get my little book. I can't keep doing Google. I know it's something amazing. Okay, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Yeah, that isn't upheld very often. But I like number 9. Thank you, Philip. Number 9, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. So if you think you've suffered some kind of unfair treatment or discrimination, you shouldn't have to find a specific clause or amendment in the Constitution. You should be able to say, it's my right, and it doesn't have to be enumerated. I've got a couple of these little books of the Constitution with, well, all the amendments so far. The last one, Amendment 27, no law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened, which means the House of Representatives cannot vote themselves a pay raise. The pay raise has to happen after the next election. Although, how do you determine when that is? I think it's like you're still in office, but the election has already happened. You know, you don't get installed till January. At one time, I think it was March. Anyway, so you can vote the pay raise after you've been voted out of office, not before. 14th, equal protection is Philip's favorite. Okay. Yeah, the Constitution is important. And even if you are not a lawyer, thingy's about to go dead. Let me plug it in. That would really be bad if my modem ran out of battery just in the middle of a live stream. Whoops. I just thought of it because I spotted it and went, that's been unplugged for a while. Okay. Let's see. What else can I say that might that YouTube might not approve? Oh, we won the Battle of Gettysburg. Humph. The Confederates hated their representative Thaddeus Stevens. And he's the father of the 14th Amendment. Oh. Okay. Well, all right. 14th. We're getting up into post-Civil War pretty soon. The 14th Amendment is huge. And there are parts of it that are superseded by other amendments. Section 3 of the 20th Amendment superseded the 14th. Oh, all persons born or naturalized in the United States in counting the population to determine how many representatives they get, Indians didn't count unless they were taxed. In other words, those who lived in town and had jobs and stuff, they counted. But the reservation Indians didn't. And the ones who were just wild and free didn't count. Blah, blah, blah. So why is this superseded by Section 23 of the 20th Amendment? If at the time fixed for the beginning of the term of the president-elect shall have died, well then why is... That doesn't make sense. This will take some study. Come on. Oh, pardon me. Amendment 12 was superseded by Amendment 20 about the Electoral College. The Electoral College used to be appointed by the governors of the states. It's only recently that we've had general elections. And the 20th is, okay, 24. It's all in Roman numerals. Good thing they made me learn how to read them. A whole bunch of stuff. Section 3 is blah, blah, blah. Oh, if the president dies, the vice president, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Yeah, the Constitution and Revolutionary War documents are much like the Magna Carta. You know, the nobility forced King John to sign the Magna Carta, but he didn't really obey it. But it did establish, at least intellectually, that the lords and ladies had rights, mostly the lords. It didn't apply to the common people for many decades and centuries, really. Let's see. Magna Carta, I think that was like around 1200. Let's see. I remember 1066. That's when William the Bastard conquered England. June 15th. Come on, Google. 1215. Written by the Archbishop of Canterbury. I didn't know that. Anyway, at Runnymede near Windsor on 15 June 1215, they forced King John to sign it, but really John and thank you, Ken, 1215. Really, John pretty much ignored it, and so did subsequent kings for quite some time. It's amazing now that the Parliament has a House of Commons. The common people at the time of the Magna Carta were really slaves. The Lord owned them. He could kill a commoner who was part of his estate just because he felt like it. They worked the land, and the Lord took, the cream of the crop and most of the crop. The feudal system really sucked. Yeah. Philip says our Constitution didn't apply to the common people until after the Civil War. Oh, yeah. Well, England likes to boast they never had slaves in England. Yeah, right. That's because England kept their slaves in the colonies. Details. Minor detail. They didn't allow slaves in England, but in India and Africa and all over the world, all their colonies. I'm not sure about Canada. I don't think Canada had slaves, but I could be wrong. And then they filled Australia with people released from the prisons, but they were mostly people who went to prison because they couldn't pay their debts. And yet Australia got this reputation for being lawless and peopled by criminals. Oh, Oliver Cromwell, the guy who executed the king. Yeah, Oliver Cromwell, he's a mixed bag. But he did help to establish a free society in England. But I find it hard to forgive the British for what they did to Scotland and Ireland. Jonathan Swift wrote his A Modest Proposal as satire, but it was really a criticism of the way the English treated the Irish. Okay, Philip, I'm assuming you're in England. Oh, you're in the U.S. Yeah, we have direct democracy at the state level. At the, yeah, well, the federal government is supposed to be a republic in which every state that joins is a sovereign nation. That's how it was set up. It isn't working that way now, is it? The federal government keeps grabbing power, and some bureaucrat sitting at a desk over 2,000 miles away presumes to tell the people of California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, and so forth, how to live our lives. They have no knowledge on which to base their decrees, and most of them are unelected bureaucrats who can't even be fired. Doesn't matter if they do a poor job. Yeah, it's really hard to like Cromwell. Yeah, Philip, you like Christmas and other holidays that the Cromwell and his ilk took away. Not to mention they executed the king. After a show trial. I mean, if you're going to have a king, well, other kings have been executed. I, I, I've been told that Richard II starved to death in the Tower because they quit feeding him. And of course, Henry VIII had a couple of his wives executed. Nice guy. And you know that England is ruled by Germans. The Windsors are actually the, let's see, Saxe-Coburg family. They're Danish, but really they're German. The Danish royals were German. You know, the kings of Spain in the time of Elizabeth I were Austrian. They were Habsburgs. Now, I'm Scots-Irish, but apparently, you know, the Scottish who went to Ireland before they came here, because of this weird immigration law that you have to stay in a third country before you can come here for citizenship. I've never understood that. Anyway, so my ancestors were Scottish, but historians say that the lowland Scots, at least, were actually immigrants from Ireland. The Highland Scots were part Pictish. It's hard to say Picts, Picts, but I can say Pictish. The original small, dark-skinned people of the Scottish Highlands. The Romans called them Pict, picture people, because they painted themselves. And I've heard that they also made cave paintings. And the Scottish picked up that habit, didn't they? If you've seen Braveheart, which isn't terribly accurate historically, but you see all their faces are painted blue. The healthcare industry resides in Tennessee? Oh, yeah, Wall Street and Madison Avenue. Well, you know, That's what happens when you promote people according to the Peter principle, to their highest level of incompetence. You get idiots running things, and then you wonder why uh, Southwest Airlines and a few other airlines, but most notably Southwest Airlines, can't fly people home. They actually don't know where their pilots and crew members are. They had pilots and uh, stewards, I think that's what they call them now, uh, waiting at the airport and not given a flight because the company didn't know they were there. Uh, and our Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg or Buttigieg or whatever it is. I think he's on vacation. He certainly isn't handling this emergency. Yeah, at the state level, it's supposed to be direct democracy, but it isn't working here in California. Where I live, every time they redistrict, it's a thing that the County Board of Supervisors does with input and permission from the state government. Sometimes we're in the second district, and sometimes we're in the third district. They can't make up their minds. Huh. Boot edge. Thank you, Philip. Oh, gosh. Anyway, yeah, I think boot edge ought to be boothead. Change his name to that. We end up at the county level with a bunch of bureaucrats drawing lines on a map deciding who will represent us. We were very happy in the second district under Janice Rutherford, but she termed out. She had 2 terms as our representative on the Board of Supervisors, and she did a great job. Well, now we have a big unknown with Dawn something, and we're in the third district. Yeah, gerrymandering is a good name for it. It's partly that and partly that um, they want to keep all the mountain communities in the same district, but our um, needs here in Crestline, a summer resort, are not the same as the needs of Big Bear, a winter resort that's several thousand feet higher on the mountain. It's a totally different climate and economic structure. We're a summer resort. When we get snow, we don't get tourists. They all go up to the ski resorts. Buddha Judge? Maybe, Philip. Anyway, geez. Oh, in Georgia, a couple elections have been changed. In one, the recount flipped who won from the Democrat to the Republican. I don't know whether that's an improvement. In the other, the judge ordered a redo of a local election because apparently people were given the wrong ballot and they didn't get to vote on an issue that was important to them. I don't remember what office. It was something really local, like county offices. Not the mayor, but other positions in cities and counties. Yeah, well, California, you just can't beat the climate and geography. And I was born and raised here, never managed to escape. And now I'm stuck with this house because I could not even rent a room for what this house costs me. And I wouldn't get that much cash out of it. Wouldn't last but maybe a year. California has quite a variety, but you can go from the beach to the mountains in a single day. So you can go skiing and then go to the beach. And if you time it right, you can also go to Disneyland or Magic Mountain, or there's another place up north. I forgot the name of it. It's a Six Flags thing, but it's not called Magic Mountain. Yeah, you can ride dirt bikes in the desert here. They've had to crack down on idiots who were going in restricted areas and harming the desert tortoises. Yeah, we have Bakersfield is big for rodeo and country music and drag racing. I got to refill my water. I'll be back. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Oh, my back is being mean to me. Oh, let's do that while I'm up. They told me it would take 2 years for my back to heal, if at all, but it is improving. Uh, Problem with California is the idiots in Sacramento do nothing but harm the southern half of our state. Up north, the wilderness areas have hiking trails that are really nice, and they have different colored gravel for the different purposes, like go down this one to see the waterfall or go down that one to do some bird watching. Down here, there's no hiking trails except the ones that were made by locals, either businesses or nonprofits. And they aren't lined with different colored gravel either, but they do have tour guides. Philip wants to get more snow in the mountains and rain in the valleys. Well, that happens, but most of Southern California is either desert or semi-desert. Up in the central area, From Bakersfield up north to Fresno, our big valley is gorgeous farmland. But the reason they're suffering a drought is because California decided it was okay to pump out all the groundwater that used to fill the farmers' wells in order to provide water to the cities. Even though Northern California has excess water that they don't bother to manage so that they could run it down the horridly expensive California aqueduct to feed water to the cities. Los Angeles County in particular is really great at stealing water. We have a severe problem with the salty inland seas. They're called lakes, but they're really inland seas. I keep forgetting the name of the big one north of Los Angeles. Salton Sea, I think it is. It was a great place where migrating water birds would stop. It's been so depleted that it's toxic. Oh, there's a song called The Idiots Are Taking Over. I think they took over. The lunatics are running the asylum. Come on. Stay lit, you stinking thing. I've mentioned before that whole towns get flooded and destroyed in Northern California every few years because they don't manage their water. When it rains, the runoff runs rampant. You know, if you're going to grow big cities right next to the farmland, the best farmland in the world, even better than Ukraine, we could feed the world if they hadn't stolen all the water from our farmers. If you're going to build big cities, get them their own water. Don't just pump it out of the ground until farmers can't water their crops. And the worst example, of course, is oh gosh, I forgot the name of it again, that stupid little fish. About the size of a goldfish. It was getting chopped up by the pumps in the dam that was feeding water to the California aqueduct. Well, it was an invasive species that doesn't belong here, and it was harming the native trout and salmon. And shutting off the pumps in the dam also harmed the trout and salmon because the water running out to the ocean prevented them from coming inland prevented the salmon from coming inland to lay their eggs and make babies. The trout, they're a freshwater species, but they were also damaged by the runoff of the water that was not being pumped by the dam. The Colorado River reservoirs are going bye-bye. They sure are. Lake Mead, Boulder Dam, once called Hoover Dam, and some people still call it that. The lake there is so low they're finding dead bodies. probably put there by the mafia in the old days. Some might have just drowned. Even today, the casinos in Vegas, if they catch you cheating, you'll be lucky if they just have you arrested. People in Idaho are getting noisier and noisier about wanting to remove the dams on the Snake River in Washington state. Well, the Snake River does go through Idaho, but I think it flows out to sea, so the dams in Washington state shouldn't affect the people of Idaho. There's several counties in Oregon that want to secede and join Idaho. I think they're just changing one of Cinderella's stepsisters for the other one. And there are ongoing movements to divide California into at least 2 separate states. The salmon. Oh, the salmon can't get to Idaho because of the dams. Well, maybe that is a good idea. Get rid of the dams. We have dams all over California that are basically standing in dry gulches. They have to get torn down because they're hazardous. People and wildlife could get hurt. And those dry gulches used to be creeks and rivers. But the idiots who manage the water are doing it wrong. There's a creek that runs, from the library, better part of a mile away, where they have the catch basin for the lake. It catches silt. It starts over there and runs all the way up to my street and then goes under the street and out the other side. Not sure exactly where it goes because it's mostly underground from here out to the west. I don't know, but the Northern California dams don't hurt the salmon. They actually help. Oh, Vikan's saying hi to Tora. Well, Tora's over here and she doesn't want me to mess with her. But I can probably get a picture of her. There. Here you go. There's Tora on top of her penthouse with her heating pad. I'm sitting on the other heating pad until she swipes it from me. If you hear the noisy truck outside, it's the trash truck. Oh, sweetie pie, did you need your treats? Yeah. Well, Harmony, here they are. Yes, Tora, you get some too. There's some for Tora, and there's some for Sweetie Pie. I'm going to grab a Good and Plenty. It's actually made with real licorice, I think. Licorice technically is the root of a tree, but oh, come on. I don't want calories and total fat. Oh, goody. Sugar, corn syrup, enriched wheat flour, licorice extract. Okay. Yeah, that's made from the root of a licorice tree, but sometimes they use anise. A lot of TV chefs call it anise, but I've always called it anise. It's a green herb green leafy herb that has the same flavor as licorice. And there's a seed in my spice rack that tastes like licorice. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Oh, and there's a leafy one that's kind of licorice. But the real thing is made from the root of a tree. Oh, and then there's star anise, very popular in Asian cuisine. Apparently, it comes from a tree. It's like a seed or a nut or something. Where are you that you have low electricity rates, Philip? I gotta correct Philip's spelling. Here in California, everything has doubled. Ah, Washington State, of course, you got lots of hydroelectric. California is stupid. I can't believe Governor Idiot got reelected. He wants us to stop using natural gas, which at this point in time is the cleanest fuel we can burn. Besides, I can't cook for beans with electric. Oh, the Grand Coulee Dam. Yeah. Well, and we have tons of it right here in California. When I was a kid, little kid in Culver City, out at the foot of the Baldwin Hills, the oil tar, which is oil, was seeping up out of the ground without being pumped. They did install pumps to get the stuff that was deeper down and more liquid, but there was tar all over the ground that just seeped up on its own. I remember back when there was a big refinery out in Venice near the beach. They would burn off natural gas because there was so much of it, they couldn't use it all. It was cheap and clean. Oh, hi, Morgan. Been going for a little over an hour now. I have nothing to talk about and everything to talk about. On January 3rd, our new senators and representatives get sworn in. But I have no faith in the Republicans to do it right anyway. Yeah, nuclear power can be done safely, but they haven't done it. Oh, hi, IB. Everybody's filing in. Yeah, Vikan, some do say that oil is not a fossil fuel and will never run out. If it indeed, oil and coal, well, oil is from dead critters millions of years ago, and coal is from dead trees millions of years ago. Do you think that plants and animals quit dying just because the dinosaurs were gone? gas and oil are bubbling out of the Gulf of California, a strip of ocean between Baja California and mainland Mexico. Yeah, Finland is working on safe, responsible, sustainable nuclear power. The main problem with nuclear power is storage of the radioactive waste. But I'll bet that if we didn't have such a corrupt regime, somebody would find a way to use it. There was a big brouhaha when they wanted to store radioactive waste under a mountain. I think it was in Colorado. So that got quashed. But, I'm really near San Onofre. Well, probably 100 miles, maybe a little more than 100. But within the radius where if it blew up, I'd get some radiation. However, they keep shutting down the reactors at San Onofre. You see, several of our California nuclear plants have been built on earthquake faults. That was brilliant. There's some people who want to store radioactive waste at the bottom of the ocean. If the Kraken isn't real, it soon will be. I love the old monster movies. Like Godzilla was formed from radioactive waste. I really love the one of Godzilla versus Mothra. And then there's the Gargantua. In one movie, they had the brown Gargantua, who was a land creature, in battle against the green Gargantua, who was a sea creature from the ocean. And of course, in every one of those movies, Tokyo is destroyed. Hey, the sun's poking out from between the clouds. Yay! I still haven't watched Bride of Frankenstein. I need to do that. Smog Monster. Ooh, that sounds like a good movie, Morgan. I haven't seen it. Oh, it's the 6th day of Christmas. Yeah, you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it is. But I'm not giving anybody 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, and all that. I can't remember the ones above 5, 5 golden rings. When you get to 6 and on to 12, I forget which is what. Like Lords a leaping and Maids a milking. Well, hi, Angus. Shalom. Angus. Oops, I put an A on the end. Evil keyboard. Oh, yeah, Japan has a dark and apocalyptic culture. I don't know whether it's due to the atomic bombs. We dropped 2 of them. And all this doom saying about how It'll be millions of years before it's habitable again. People are living in the cities where the bomb was dropped in, oh, what year was it? 1947, I think. Okay, let's see. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Come on. 1945. Yeah, there are people living in Hiroshima and Nagasaki now. Manga stuff is good. Let's see. Yes, it's Hanukkah has already happened. Now that I know something about. The menorah has 9 candles because the oil lasted 8 days when they were cleansing the temple. I believe that would be the Maccabees, like Judas Maccabee. The temple had been defiled, but the 7 candle menorah is only in the temple. You're not supposed to have that one in your home. You can have 5 or 9, but not 7. Let me just fact check myself. Yeah, the temple menorah is a 7-branched candelabrum for the 7 days of the week. And the one in the center, of course, would be Sabbath, Sabbath, Saturday. Yeah, the abomination was put in the temple, a statue of a pagan god to be worshipped. Oh, Godzilla versus King Kong. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, potato latkes and Moroccan jelly donuts. Sounds good. You know, latkes are basically an Eastern European thing, and quite recent because Europe didn't have potatoes. The Middle East didn't have potatoes till they were brought from the Americas. Ireland didn't have potatoes. And, oh, I forget which century, I guess the 1700s. Prussia, the ruler of Prussia, before there was a Germany. Prussia was basically half of Poland and a little bit of Germany. They grew potatoes, and everyone thought they were nuts, that potatoes were poisonous and not nutritious, and they'd all get sick and die. They were wrong. The guy who introduced them to France couldn't get people to eat potatoes because that was like food for the pigs, or they didn't like to eat pig food, until the one guy who was promoting the potatoes got smart. And during the day, he had armed guards around his potato patch. But at night, the guards all went home, and people started stealing the potatoes, and they became popular. Cardinal Sin has his Hanukkah decoration behind him with lights. Yeah, he is sometimes in here. Yeah, nobody had tomatoes until Actually, they thought they were poisonous, and in a sense, they were, because people of Europe, especially those with money, were eating off of pewter plates, and the acid in the tomatoes would leach out the toxic metal from the pewter. I think it was tin that it leached out. But the people, the peasants who didn't have pewter and were eating off of pottery didn't get sick from tomatoes. Oh, yeah, corn, maize, American corn. Not sure that was a good deal. Well, the weed didn't come from the Americas. It came from Southeast Asia and some of the Pacific Islands. Well, anyway, let's see. Corn, maize, American corn is notoriously difficult to digest, but the natives of South America were smart. They treated them with a caustic substance like lye, not as strong as lye, but they called it lye because that used to be a general term for a substance that was basic, the opposite of acid. And they would treat the corn with lye that they made from the ashes of their campfires. You soak the ashes in water, filter, let it sit a while, and then filter it and use the liquid. Soak the corn in that liquid, and it would become much easier to digest. In fact, you might have noticed that corn tortillas and tortilla chips, you have no trouble digesting those, but you boil a pot of sweet corn and oh boy. So I'm going to try an experiment next time I want some sweet corn. I'm going to try to putting a teaspoon of baking soda in the water and see if that makes a difference in the flavor, of course, the texture, and whether it's easier to digest. They treat corn nowadays with something more like baking soda than campfire ashes. Phil knew quite a bit about Judaism from hanging out with a family who kept kosher, so most of what he knew was really about food. Many Germans went from wheat to potatoes because when they went to war, more potatoes survived a field being set ablaze. That's interesting. Sorry. The cough just came over me. I couldn't stop it. Um, Potatoes saved the lives of many Irish until the potato famine. And there was plenty of other food in Ireland, but the peasants couldn't afford it because it was all shipped to England. The English landlords, who basically stole the land from the Irish because England won the war, the landlords primarily lived in England and just owned an estate in Ireland and didn't take care of it. And most of the good food was sent back to England. If an Irishman had a cow, he'd never eat it. The milk was important, but most of them didn't have livestock. They might have a goat or a sheep. That's about it. And it was awful. So, as I mentioned earlier, Jonathan Swift wrote a modest proposal which went to the extreme of satire to try to get it through the heads of the stupid British that they were killing people. Angus has a few friends who keep kosher, and his grandmother's in a Jewish nursing home where they keep kosher. Most of your family does not keep kosher. It's more of an Orthodox thing. Yeah, well, Phil used to tell the story about how he always put milk in his coffee, and his friend's wife couldn't figure out whether to give him a spoon or a fork to stir it in order to make it kosher. And finally her husband said, "Oh, never mind. Just give him a spoon. He's a goy." In other words, Phil didn't keep kosher, so why bother? I don't know whether Jonathan Swift's essay was successful, but I forget which politician, one tried to send food to Ireland in defiance of the law that forbade sending food to the Irish, believe it or not. He did manage to send some. Well, Gesundheit is for sneezing, Philip, but thank you. Gesundheit is German for health. Good health. Two sets of silverware and plates, huh? That's interesting. Well, I don't keep kosher because I don't like kosher food. I do like latkes. I do like a few things. I like bagels. I've rarely had the real thing. It's usually not that good a bagel, but even so, with sour cream and some smoked salmon, it's awesome. Not sour cream, cream cheese. Although sour cream would go well with some fruit, peaches or orange slices, um, or even raisins. In parts of Europe, raisin just means grape, but here in the U.S., it means a dried grape, like a currant. Now I'm way off track. I had something to say. Well, the main thing is I just don't care for most kosher food. Although I love the dill pickles. Really love kosher dills. They're awesome. Cheese and fruit go great together. Yeah, well, I don't know about that, about not serving fruit and cheese. Sorry. We often put peach slices on cottage cheese. I eat pickles with. I take a cracker and put some cream cheese or other soft cheese like goat cheese on the cracker, and then I put a slice of pickle on top. I guess pickles are fruit, they're cucumbers. Sharp cheddar and apples. Oh, yeah. There's nothing quite like an apple pie with melted cheddar on top. Yeah, cottage cheese with pineapple. That was Richard Nixon's favorite meal. I happen to like it too. Yes, Angus, you see a carton of Whoppers, but it's almost empty. Somebody keeps eating them. Well, I do have a friend who visits and helps me eat them, but this time it was mostly me. Nothing quite like sugar coated sugar. The other secret public vice I have is candy corn. That's really sugar coated sugar. The Whoppers are malt sugar. It's supposed to be made from barley, but lately they've been making it from all kinds of things. And it's coated with what they call chocolate, but there's no real chocolate in it. It's just brown stuff, brown shiny stuff. Well, Howard, I'm glad I inspired you to eat something as healthy as Whoppers. LOL. Vegan is a pagan when it comes to food. Shellfish and swine. Well, I'm kind of off shellfish except for clam chowder once in a while. I've developed a reaction to iodine, which is found in the shellfish. I love shrimp, but they don't love me. I do love cod and salmon and halibut. Can't really get halibut now. I think they've been overfished. Never snuck a hamburger into the movies, but you did sneak in some soft tacos, huh? Shame on you, Philip. I just stuffed my purse with candy bars. Not gonna pay. Well, back then I wouldn't pay $1 for a 10-cent candy bar. Now they're $1 at the grocery store. Lost your taste? Yeah, that's what. Yes, shellfish are not kosher, and they're probably dangerous to eat, especially before refrigeration. Oh, sea bass used to be my go to fish. Can't get that. Yeah, it was overfished. Sneaking popcorn into the theater. Oh, I go ahead and buy the popcorn and I get that slimy stuff they call butter on it because I like it. It tastes so good. And I end up with my hands all greasy. One time, the greasy hand caused me to drop my soda and spill it all over. Oh, Westwood. Angus, are you in Los Angeles? Couldn't. Oh, crab legs at Costco. $75 a package? Jesus. Nothing could be that good. No wonder. I looked them up on Schwann's because A, they take food stamps, and B, they deliver frozen food to my door. I looked up crab legs and said, no, I don't think so. Oh, I like hot dogs, but I'm supposed to lay off of hot dogs and all kinds of spicy things because of my hiatal hernia, at least until I get the ulcers under control. Pretzels and cheese. Yeah, I'm kind of kosher by accident because I tend to get sick from shellfish. For some reason, a canned clam chowder doesn't hit me too hard. Probably because there isn't much clam in it. It's mostly potatoes. Oh, yeah, you miss the scenes when you drink a big soda and have to use the restroom. Well, I'd put tons of salt on my popcorn, Philip, and real melted butter. I still make it in a pot on the stove, but if you're not into that, you can always get Jiffy Pop. I do not recommend the microwave stuff. You're eating plastic. But Jiffy Pop is an aluminum pan with a handle, and you go like this across the burner until it starts popping, and it poofs up. Okay, I've got to recycle some coffee, but I won't be gone too long. You guys are getting mean. Popcorn poppers, yeah, but okay, popcorn poppers work and they don't require oil. I'll be right back. I think I'm back. In addition to Whoppers, I have dates and prunes. I like prunes. Mom used to call them big raisins. That's what they are, dried plums. I think they still sell Jiffy Pop. I haven't looked for it because I just use a pot on the stove. Cheaper. Oh, Witta found it on Amazon. Worried plums. Yeah, they're all wrinkled. What, Tora? Well, if you want more treats, you have to come say hello to your adoring fans. Come on. Say hi. Says, hi, I hate you. She hates the cat in the picture. Yes, you do. Cats don't like tummy rubs, but it's so tempting. Yes, dear. Oh, you don't eat Ritz crackers, do you? You eat these. It's turkey flavor. Okay, kid. I'm just checking to see if Sweetie Pie is coming. I guess not. Oh, hi, Oswald. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we've been on for an hour and almost 40 minutes. Um, I'm confused. President Biden said COVID is over, but The health agencies are saying no. I don't know. I suspect that it never will be over. It'll just quit killing so many people. Let's see. I gotta do this. Empty the ashtray. Well, I do not recommend smoking. I kind of had no choice with two chain smoking parents who never opened a window. I was hooked before I ever lit one myself. And I do enjoy tobacco, but I think I'd like it a lot better if I could get really good tobacco and maybe smoke it in a pipe. Not the crap they sell like Bugler, but something really good. And just, like the Native Americans used to do, they'd smoke it on special occasions, for ceremonial occasions, not every day. Yeah, there's lots. I have to wear a mask at the doctor's office. You mean they don't have Swisher Sweets anymore, or you gave them up, Howard? I used to like those. Dad was smoking White Owls for a while. Those are nasty. But Swisher Sweets are kind of nice. But I haven't thought about them in years. And Cuesta Ray is a really good real cigar, not a little skinny thing. Uh, that's enough, Angus. Had to stop after a heart attack. That's how Dad quit. After 10 days in the hospital, he didn't want a cigarette anymore. Yeah, it was indeed for special occasions. I don't want to hear about Flipper anymore. That's so sad. There was a hand soap when I was very young that was antibacterial and it was making people ill, seriously ill. I'm trying to remember what they put in it. But this would be around before 1960. My experience in trying illicit substances is very superficial. I tried a couple things, but didn't make a habit of it. I did eat blue mushrooms twice, but that was before I knew it was illegal. And besides, what else do you do at a Grateful Dead concert that has tailgating? I don't recommend it. I really don't. You can alter your mind much more safely with meditation and prayer. Phil got really into Carlos Castaneda. I thought it was a bunch of bunk. There was no whatever his he had this supposedly medicine man guru. He made him up. Didn't exist. I think he was just a peyote smoking mystic. Not my thing. I'm really impressed with what's his name. Oh dear. Why can't I think of his name? Well, you guys should know his name. Messengers of Deception. Jacques Vallée. Got it. Jacques Vallée did some really good work, and I'm hearing that his more recent work, thank you, Angus, I'm hearing that his more recent work is kind of questionable. But Messengers of Deception really opened my eyes. Oh, tonight I will be on K-Core Radio, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time. Let's see, it's Hyperspace with Solaris Blue Raven. I will be her guest tonight. Ooh. Oswald says Vallée just did a whopping 3-hour interview with Jeff Mishlove at New Thinking Aloud, who is a big Castaneda cultist. Tune in tonight if you can. It's kcoreradio.com. And the show is Hyperspace. Let me see. Let me see if I can get you a real link. You can listen live, but I'm pretty sure you have to pay to hear the repeat if you missed the live show. Try that again. Try to leave off the slash. There we go. Now let's delete the one with the oopsie on it. There you go. Who's Von Brashler in the first hour? I don't know. I have no clue. I'll probably listen in the first hour to find out. But the website should tell you something about Von Brashler. I'm planning to talk about the UFO sighting I had as a child of 6 years old. I've even dragged out the book. I wasn't totally convinced that it was a real sighting until I found a chapter in this book, UFOs Over California, by Preston Dennett. This is a really high quality paperback. Let me show you. The pages are like index cards. They're very thick. And the photographs are glossy. They're on glossy paper. Really high quality, and it didn't cost that much. UFOs Over California. He has a series like UFOs Over Colorado, in different states in the U.S. There's a whole chapter in this book about the UFO that I saw. Apparently, I saw one, but apparently there were hundreds of them, and they were seen by thousands of people over the course of a year, starting around August of 1960. Angus has read that Dennett book and some of his others. He loved UFOs over Topanga. Oh, you live nearby in the Palisades? Also Santa Monica. Yeah, I grew up, up to the age of 11, I was in Culver City. But after the Watts riot of 1965, we moved. That was in August of 65. In September, we moved to Anaheim. That riot really frightened us because it was not far from Culver City. Watts is right next to us, within 10 miles. I mean, Dad boarded up the windows and got out his shotgun, just in case. I can understand why the people rioted, but we didn't want to die. We were very near to Venice Beach, just a little bit inland. Oh, the ones of 92, I was visiting my family in Chino, which is between Ontario and Pasadena, more or less. And I couldn't drive home because at the freeway overpass that I would have to use, well, I'd have to drive under it. People were throwing bricks and rocks off the overpass onto the windshields of passing cars. I was living. Where was I living at the time? I don't remember. It must have been Riverside. Yeah, I was living in a community called Pedley, right next to Miraloma. Miraloma kind of tickles me. That name means, look, a hill. Look at the hill. Miraloma. Pedley is the poor side of town. Anyway, it's in Riverside, and the Riverside police stopped the riot at the mall, Inland Center Mall. They didn't get in. There was a lot of looting of stores all over the place, but not there. Yeah, Culver City used to be affordable. My parents bought their home in a little community called Studio Village, not Studio City. It was basically around Farragut Elementary School and the Culver High School. I think they bought it in 52 or 53 and it cost $10,000. And now it's $500,000. We were at Overland and Ocean, more or less. which wasn't far from Jefferson Boulevard, which kind of, before they changed Jefferson and Overland, Jefferson Boulevard basically skirted the foot of the Baldwin Hills. They've rerouted those two roads and changed all the signs, so I get lost if I try to go there. Oh, yeah. You got your fireworks in Culver City every year. That was a big fundraiser for our Little League. Oh, I remember the Culver Studio Drive-In. I saw um, Sleeping Beauty there. I think it was the only time my parents ever took us to a movie. Do you remember Hamburger Handout? One of the early fast food restaurants. The servers would come out on roller skates, take your order while you sat in your car, and then bring it on this tray that attached to the door of your car. You had to leave a window down, of course. They'd bring your food out to your car. It was awesome. You're in Baldwin Village. Yeah. That didn't exist when I was a kid. I never went to the Centinela Drive-In, but I think Randy's Donuts is still there. I remember seeing the great big concrete donut on top of the donut shop, and it was near Ships. Ships Restaurants is gone. It had a like a big image of a ship on top of the building, a sailing ship, a big one. I did get to go to the museum a few times, the Natural History Museum. Oh, Angus has been to Ships. Yes, I used to love going there. Every once in a while, the whole family, me, my two brothers, and mom and dad would go to Ships for a treat. I never had a Monte Cristo. I tried, yeah, a toaster at every table. I tried to make a Monte Carlo at home and it didn't turn out too well. It was good, but it was not a Monte Cristo. Turkey, ham, cheese on a fried bread. There's more to it than that. Let customers burn their own toast. Have you ever been to Pickle Pete's? You might not be old enough. There is a little, uh, tiny restaurant called Pickle Pete's. And yes, they had pickles. They had kosher dill pickles. The floor was concrete with sawdust spread on it. I'm really vague on where it was, but it was Los Angeles. Probably on Pico. Anyway, they made the best homemade applesauce. It was chunks of apples drowned in sugar and cinnamon and cooked just perfect. Not all, runny like this applesauce you get in a can. With chunks of apple, maybe quarter inch or half inch. No, I think quarter inch square. Yeah, LA and Portland have gone more downhill, Oswald. It's horrible. But I think the scariest place in California is Fresno. In Oregon, it's probably Portland. I took a train there once. part of my trip home from Seattle. And in Seattle, all I saw was the hotel and the airport and a 7-Eleven. The food at the hotel was too expensive. We couldn't afford it. So we went across the street, me and my son, to 7-Eleven and stocked up. Anyway, um, stopped and got off the train in Portland, and thank God my cousin was right there to pick me up because it was scary at the railroad station. Prostitutes and drug dealers. Oh, Nick Johnson. I'm not sure if that's the guy I subscribe to on YouTube. Could be, but not that channel. Decaying American cities. It's sad but true. That's one reason why I live in a small town. We are not even a city. We're unincorporated. But we know each other. And most of us are good people, and we know who isn't. And even some of the people who are not so good are not dangerous to me. I mean, I treat them like normal people, and they're nice to me. Do I browse online short story archives? No. Oh, I have to, what do you call it? Moderate. Oh, well, I think that's okay to say gangbangers. I don't think that's a cuss word or anything. Oh, my. Well, there's a problem with packing people into a city where everything is paved over and you live in a little box in a stack of other little boxes. There's something to be said for having a yard with dirt and rocks and grass and bushes. And the air and water are much better here. I still put my tap water through a filter pitcher. Love my pure filter pitcher. The Brita filter is crap. Pure, PUR, is much better. A lot cheaper than bottled water. Oh, you think gangbanger is sexually explicit? That isn't what it means. It means they'll beat you up. It doesn't mean they'll bang you. You know, I've gotten along with Hells Angels and cowboys, both motorcycle gangs. But I don't. I'm not going to be riding a motorcycle. Nah. Ooh, you live downhill from the oil fields. Yeah. Southern California has tons of oil and gas. Not much coal. Humans need green spaces. Yeah, we mentally and emotionally deteriorate. You got into a food fight with Hell's Angels? I hope nobody got hurt. Oh, you were 6. Well, that's different. They don't generally hurt little kids. Actually, yeah, the Hells Angels, some were Mexican, but mostly white. But no, I met both Crips and Bloods, and they could be white or black. I stopped wearing my red handkerchief and my blue handkerchief, I'd put around my neck with a ring on it just to as a fashion statement. Those are the colors of those two rival gangs, Crips and Bloods. Well, I don't know if they're that racist. One thing the Hells Angels do, I think it's once a year, it might be more. They all get together and buy teddy bears and they ride up to a children's hospital and give the teddy bears to the children. They're trying to clean up their act and their image. I don't know what a fixie bicycle gang would be. What's a fixie bicycle? Oh, do you mean flexi? That I know what that is. Heavens demons. Okay. Throwing milkshakes and burgers. I wouldn't waste good food on throwing it at people. Of course, if it was fast food, it might not be so good. But, my neighbors are all colors, races, religions, politics, etc. We just don't talk politics. We rarely talk religion. But it does come up, especially when the Lutheran Church brings me stuff from their food bank. And I'm a Baptist. They don't care. If you're hungry, we'll feed you. But I'll never be a Lutheran. I have a bad experience with the Missouri Synod Lutherans. Mongols don't discriminate on race. Jesse Ventura was a member and seemed offended when someone thought he was a Hell's Angel. Okay. Oh, the food was toxic waste? Okay. Lowrider recliner bike. Huh. Those things are dangerous, even if they aren't powered by a motor. Hello, Jorge? I don't see a... Oh, hi, Jorge. What do I think about Crowley's Tarot? Hold on, let me type hi, Jorge. It's Spanish for George. Jorge. It drives me nuts when idiots on these documentaries pronounce the J like a Y. And they'll say something like Yorga, because I don't know what they're talking about. Or San Jacinto. The J is a Jota. It's H. Jorge. The G is kind of a but nobody bothers with that. They don't say Jorge, they say Jorge. A lot of Chicanos ride lowrider bikes around Venice. Yeah, they're very brave because those things get you killed. You got to be real careful. Those lowrider bikes. Anyway, let's see. Jorge asked me a question. What was it? Jorge Rubio. Oh, yeah, Crowley's Tarot. He didn't like being called Crowley. It was Crowley. I don't like tarot in general. But Crowley's Tarot in particular, I don't have much experience with it. I've never had my cards read. I just have a queasy feeling about it. And about mystical stuff in general. I do meditate, but That's something anyone can do, and you don't have to learn to read the cards and all of that. Oh, the Missouri Synod is Masonic? Lutheranism? Well, they are. Even the other Lutherans don't like them. And they're so focused on works and instead of faith. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Masons. My grandfather was a Knight Templar in the York Rite, and my step grandfather was 33rd degree in the Scottish Rite. They weren't rich or famous or powerful. Although I guess Marvin was a little better off than most. He wasn't wealthy. My grandfather, Judd, definitely wasn't wealthy. He had worked for Hal Roach Studios, and when he retired, he got a pension of $15 a month, which at the time was a lot of money. But it never increased. It was flat. So, of course, he kept on working. He just quit working for Hal Roach Studios. He was an engineer and he repaired everything and even built some props and so forth. Oh, Missouri Synod is anti-Masonic? Okay. Yeah, those evil Masons, they join the shrine and donate to children's hospitals. Shame on them. They are not at all what you think of historically, Knights Templar and Masons. Originally, it was a guild of stonemasons. You know, they take a hammer and chisel and chip the rock, or they use bricks and mortar to build a wall. It was a union, a labor union. But they kind of adopted the Knights Templar stuff. ELCA, huh? The main Lutheran denomination. Okay. Anyway, yeah, they have their little secrets, and you can find out what their secrets are, like the colors of the rainbow stand for things like faith, hope, and charity. You know, real awful stuff, faith, hope, and charity. They do require that you be religious in some way, but you don't have to be Christian or Jewish or whatever. You can be a Muslim or a Hindu or whatever, but you must believe in God. So that kind of leaves out atheists. Although I have heard stories of atheists being allowed to join, they take their oath instead of on a Bible or Quran or whatever, they take it on something like Crowley's book. Oh, well, there have been some scandals where some Masons went too far and crossed the line, but even the other Masons were shocked. There was one in particular where this publisher, editor publisher of a newspaper, quit the Masons and decided he was going to publish all their secrets. And he was murdered brutally. But that was one incident in one small town. It wasn't all the Masons. Yeah, York Rite is English, and Scottish Rite, of course, is Scots, Angus. So I could join Eastern Star, but it's expensive and you have to dress up and stuff. Yeah, murder is extremely rude. But don't paint all the Masons with one brush. By the way, a few weeks ago we had 2 of those smash and grab robberies. One was at Rite Aid and the other was at a new pharmacy in Lake Arrowhead. I think it was a Walgreens. And most of what they stole was booze, alcohol, whiskey, vodka, etc. The one in Lake Arrowhead was so new I didn't know about it yet until after the smash and grab. So it was new in 2022. Hey, Crestline is moving into the modern world. We have a McDonald's and a 7-Eleven and a Shell station. It's all we've got in the way of, big box stores. In a nearby community called Rim Forest, there's a pizza place. Don't remember whether it's Domino's or some other one. Yeah. Well, the perpetrators were from down the hill. They don't live here. They came all the way up the mountain just to smash and grab a bunch of liquor. They also threatened some of the employees, but apparently no one was seriously hurt. The Rite Aid is in Blue Jay, not Crestline. Pekin says Domino's pizza is expensive for cheese on toast. Oh, ethyl alcohol junkies, yeah. Well, you see, when drug addicts can't get their drug of choice, they turn to alcohol. And it's sad. They're trying to numb the pain instead of finding joy. And it's awful. Some have been in jail so many times they feel at home there. That's awful. I blame the big cities, not, some town like even Anaheim or Ontario, Chino, Norco, Corona, Riverside, San Bernardino. They aren't that bad. But the big cities with all the skyscrapers and everything paved over, they're bad for your health, mental and physical. I feel really bad for people who end up on the street. But they need more than a home. They need help. They need jobs and rehabilitation and education. Some are just people who can't quite afford the deposits to rent an apartment, but most have many other problems. Around here, we have a lot of what we call couch surfers, people who just couldn't pay the rent anymore because it has skyrocketed. They want $1,200 a month to rent a room with kitchen privileges. So they stay with one friend for a while and then they move on to another friend because it's no fun having other people in your house and it's no fun being the other people in your house. Yes, smart cities are like a Philip K. Dick novel. My toaster is not on the internet. My refrigerator is not on the internet. My stove is not on the internet. I like it that way. Yep, certification used to guarantee qualification, but now it's a Venn diagram. If you've never seen a Venn diagram of circles that will overlap a little, you kind of got to check all the boxes. Your mother couch surfed for years before she got an apartment in Section 8. Yeah. When my son was very young, I applied for rent assistance. 3 years later, they offered it to me, but I no longer qualified because I had a better job. I don't know how many times I had to go to the landlord at our slum apartment and say, I can only pay half the rent because my car needed repairs, but I'll catch up. Smart cities will fart out. Well, when people find out that it's 90 degrees and their air conditioner won't run because it's on the internet, and they're in a high-rise apartment where you can't even open a window, there will be hell to pay. You know how you can stop that. You turn off your modem. These things that use the internet are using your internet to control your life. Of course, they've probably rigged them so they won't run at all if they're not on the internet. That would be really scary. Reminds me of that movie, Brazil. One of the greatest movies I've ever seen, where the guy is illegally repairing people's appliances because he isn't government approved, but you wait a month or longer for the government approved technician to come by, and half the time he doesn't fix it right. What's his name is a great director, and I've forgotten his name again. Why do I forget names? This is not a new problem. I've always had trouble with names. No, I don't want director's cut. I want the director's name, you evil Google. Terry Gilliam. Yes, Terry Gilliam. You nailed it, Morgan. I haven't seen his Don Quixote. I really should. Yeah, Brazil is close, but you really need to see Radio Free Albemuth. You might have to get Netflix or Amazon Prime to see it. But you should check out, they have a website. Let me see if I can get that link for you. Radio Free Albemuth. Well, they do have a web. That's Amazon. Here we go. Official website. Come on, load up. Here we go. Here's your link. RadioFreeAlbemuth.com. It's a secure site. HTTPS. RadioFreeAlbemuth.com. You won't get car chases, explosions, and, well, there's one explosion. Shootouts and stuff like that. But it's an awesome movie. Well, I just saw it on Amazon. Oh, it is not showing on Prime, but let's see. If you check their official website, you might find where it's showing now. I know you can buy in theaters, about trailer shop. I think you can buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. Check out their website. You can pop for a DVD or a Blu-ray, can't you? I have it on DVD because I got it before Blu-ray was a big thing. And I still am not sure that I can play a Blu-ray. I think the desktop computer will play it, but I haven't tried it yet. Well, your computer should have a little drawer like mine has where you can put in a disc and it'll play it. You might have to download some free software to play a DVD. But check out their website and see. Sometimes it's in a theater. And they might have a way for you to stream it. Okay, let me go ahead and Google it. Where to stream Radio Free Albemuth. It's on Vudu, VUDU. This says it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. You have to subscribe to Amazon Prime. Unless you're not in the US. Here you go. Yeah, I don't have a DVD player, but my computers play DVDs. And I think the desktop will play a Blu-ray. As I said, I haven't actually tried it yet. Life keeps getting in the way of my plans. Yeah, well, if you're in Los Angeles, you should be able to see it on Amazon Prime. I subscribe to Prime because what I save in shipping costs for things I can't get anywhere else really saves me much more than the annual subscription. It's a little over $10. Oh, look at the kitties. Such a pretty girl. Sweetie Pie wants some treats. I wonder if I can get her in the picture. There she is. See her? That's Sweetie Pie. Oh, yeah. Oh, you don't like being on live YouTube? Here you go. There's your treats. Such a pretty girl. You finally got to see Sweetie. It's been a while. Oh, I don't have any game consoles, but I might find one at the local thrift shop. Anyway, I've been on for 2.5 hours, and it's time to make breakfast. I can't decide. Maybe Rice Krispies with sliced bananas, or maybe bacon and eggs. Maybe both. Why not? So let's see. Thank you all for listening and have a great day. Let's see, I got a typo. Here we go. And thank you all. You guys are wonderful. See ya. Thanks, Viken, Witta, Howard, Angus, and Jorge, and Joseph, and Philip. If I missed anybody, sorry. It's all I can think of. Oh, and IB, yes. You guys all take care too. I need you here. When Verizon and YouTube let me get on live. See ya.